It's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some.
I know, right? Good help is so hard to find.
Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing. Mayhem ensues when strange, coffee-craving zombies plague the city. Detective Mickey Potatoes, an overworked public servant, uncovers why ordinary citizens are losing their minds and how to stop the coffee apocalypse. But it involves the mafia. And when you're dealing with mafia crime families, nothing is ever easy. The mafia controls everything in the city, including the police, including him. If he breaks the mafia, they will break him. So, the city is without coffee. The city is burning before his very eyes, but he's powerless. Detective Potatoes has the power to stop the coffee apocalypse, but if he does, he could lose everything.
What is Path of the Pale Rider anyway? Is it a comic book? No, that's not it. Is it this? What the heck is Path of the Pale Rider, man? There's no way this is right. How about this? I have no idea.
We don't rob a bank.
Oh, it's this.
The statements in the following broadcast are not necessarily the opinions of the Madness Comic Network, its staff, sponsors, or contributors. The show is rated TVMA and all those other letters. Viewer discretion is highly advised. And Doc says, read it again, but I'm not going to. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the Monday Madness. You know what I say? It's the show that can take you just about anywhere. Where do you want to go? I want to start off real quick with I guess I want to start off real quick with sending this guy the link because he's our second guest in the second half of the show. So there you go. What's up? There it is. There's that link. Mr. Dirk, what's happening? I don't know if he's necessarily watching yet, but now he has the link. So we got Dirk Manning going to be here about 5:45, everybody. So you're not going to want to miss that. Our boy from the Horror Movie Club, Brian Christgau, should be popping in here sometime soon. I told him 5 o'clock or sometime shortly thereafter. But since he's not here, there is something I want to show everybody that I just found out about. And this doesn't happen too often, but it happens once in a while where something will show up and I didn't know about it. Okay, now my friend Andrew has a cover on this campaign. Unholy Nightmare, #1. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. You guys can go check it out. Well, I'm going to drop it in the chat. You guys can go check it out. But Andrew Mangum, is a friend of mine, does awesome work. He does cover for this one. So take a quick look at it. 150 backers, 151 backers. Looks got a trade and a virgin variant. $30 for the pair. Unholy Nightmare. Dolan and Aurelio Mazzara, the artist and writer of Born of Blood 5 and 6, have teamed up for an all-new series. All right, a masked vigilante and a Chicago undercover cop stake out drug exchange, exotic and strange. Drug in question embroils them in an underworld of monsters and demons that they couldn't have possibly imagined. Yeah, I like it. All right. Check it out, guys. Got a chance to win 2 lucky backers. Chance to win. Will receive a piece of original art. Joint campaign for a chance to win. Here's some of the interior art. So yeah, guys, there you go. Mutant Farm Comics. Dolan Waddick. And looks pretty good, man. Looks pretty good. 3 days left. Go check it out. And there you go. Andrew Mangum right there. Andrew Mangum and Splash. And this just popped into the madness today, and I'm like, 3 days left. Don't give me a whole lot of time to work with, but you guys know what I do. I still go out and tell people about it. So you saw me drop this on Twitter. You saw me see it in the group on Facebook. So there it is. Now you've seen it on the show. Go check it out. Don't know where my guest is. Where you at, B? It is party time, my friend. Yeah. Might get Doc come out here in a little bit too. Doc plays this video game called Champions Online. So I went and created a character and messed around with it. And then I was told that's not the game to play. That's the Bush League version. And that there's a better one. And I was like, trying to talk Doc into changing is going to be impossible anyway. So, yeah, no. But I think, Doc and I might start doing a little bit of a gaming stream. It worked pretty well. He was showing it yesterday. We did a little test run. It was fun. Had a good time. So, might do a little stream, but we're going to need somebody else to come out here and field the comments and stuff while we're rolling, while we're playing, because the game goes to, you can't see anything else that's going on. You can't see your StreamYard. You can't see the chat. Nothing. You're just in the game. I don't do the OBS thing, so it's the way it is, man. So I don't know where Brian is, but he does a lot more than Six Gun Gorilla, guys. And I wanted him to come out and talk about it. Talk about some of the other stuff that he's doing, Mr. Christgau, where the hell are you? I don't know, Mac. I don't know what's up. My guest and my hopeful co-host ain't even here. So, okay. I think my co-host is coming. I think. I don't know where Brian is, though. I don't know what happened to him. I'm just going to send Max to late. He can come out too. Till Brian gets here. I think I'll do that. I think I will do that. Max, you want to pop in here till I got a guest? You can do that, brother. So I ain't just dying out here. You guys know I'm no good at this alone. It's never been my forte. I've always been, look, even way back in radio, I wasn't the front guy. I was the side guy on the phone, cracking jokes on the side. That was what I did. I'm not, I'm not the best at the front guy. I was just like, it's really hard to explain how I got involved in this. It was just like trying to help people get seen because they didn't have no tables or nothing. And, it's not like I had to plan to come out here and be the big guy on the network in 4 years later or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like it's always just been something I'm doing, not. I don't even know how to explain it. It's weird. How you doing, Max?
I'm good. Just hanging out.
It's funny. You were out here with Doc earlier today.
Yeah.
Doc, I was watching Doc for a minute, and then got distracted. Went upstairs, got distracted doing something, and by the time I came back down, the show was over. And I went to watch, and it was like, well, damn, Max and Tanner popped in. He dropped the link like it had to be 20 seconds after I left. You know what I mean? It was like, because I didn't just stiff you guys and not show up.
No, that's all good.
I mean, damn. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I was doing something. It was weird. Came back and it was over. I was like, damn.
So what are you going over today?
Say what? Yes. See, this is the only time where I hate color.
Mm-hmm.
When there's that much line work, the color just washes it out.
Yeah, sometimes.
And man, it's like that's too good to get washed out like that.
Mm-hmm.
A good colorist will save all that line work.
Yeah, for sure.
A good colorist will save all that line work.
I mean, all the grading in the back of the door, that's gone.
Yeah.
And the colors.
It's just, you know what I'm saying, Max. You know what I'm saying. That's one of the reasons I love black and white. And one of the things that it's hard on a colorist. How do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you color it and still give us all that line work? Because we want it all. We don't want to miss none of it. Good stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
Mutant Farm Comics, everybody. Unholy Nightmare, #1. All kinds of good stuff here, but there's only 3 days left. 151 backers, man.
It's not bad.
Number #1. Hell no. This is real good. Looks like your campaigns, Max. A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got it all. Just it's got it all.
A little bit of everything.
Standees, inked bust, sketch, interior art. Oh, Drawn Into the Comic is sold out. There was 5 of those, and they're gone. Yep, got stretch goals, all kinds of stuff.
So we'll be doing a show on Tuesday night called the BC Presents. It's going to be me and Pete and Phil and Johnny at the core.
And what time is that going to be?
9 p.m. Central or Eastern time.
I think that's a good slot. Yeah, that's a good slot. Is that going to be a network show?
I don't know. We haven't really decided what we want to do with it yet. It's kind of a all around pop culture thing.
What's up, Chris?
What's up, Chris?
Jim O'Reilly. We had people in the chat before the show commenting on my thumbnail because my thumbnail hadn't been updated yet. It still said 3 p.m. Eastern up above your head right there. So then Luke says, I think he's changing the time spot. Thumbnail needs fixed. And I was like, yeah, I'm fixing it. Just give me a minute for it to update. Brian, get in here. I sent you a link, dude. You're supposed to be you. You. I know.
It's your time.
Mr. O'Reilly is in the chat. He gave away a piece of art yesterday during Draw Street.
Oh, nice.
A Spawn and the Last Ronin.
Yeah.
Drawing he was doing.
I saw the Spawn when he did.
Yeah, that's the one. He gave Carol got it. Carol's colors. Carol's cookies. Carol's colors. Yeah. So we should have an appearance by Doc here in a moment.
Cool.
And then Mr. Christgau jumps on in here. We're going to talk about some other stuff. I mean, we all know about Six Gun Gorilla, but Brian does some other stuff just people don't know about, man.
Yeah.
Everybody just automatically equates him to Six Gun Gorilla.
That's because that's a badass comic book.
Yeah, but it's like he got some other badass stuff he does too.
Yeah, but Six Gun Gorilla is fucking great.
No, Brian, go read it. Your time is 5 p.m. I even sent you a message that says show up at 5 or slightly thereafter. Slightly, meaning like within a few minutes. Now is good. Dirk is at 5:45, bro. Dirk Manning is at 5:45. It even says that in the description, dude, on the show on your channel. Just let me finish this soup. Yeah, finish the soup. Hurry up.
Do your thing, boss. Do your thing.
Now, Max, what's next? Oh, I can see what's next. Hold on. Wait for the copy. Is that good? Yeah.
What's next for Atrocity Press?
Yeah.
We'll be fulfilling Ninja Bimbos versus Zombies from Deep Space probably next week or the week after. Johnny's got a lot of stuff going on next week, so we may have to wait till next week after. Do it on a Wednesday. It only takes us a day or two to do a fulfillment, so we're pretty quick. And then after that, we're pretty much done for the rest of the year. I mean, the artists are still going to be working, drawing pages and stuff like that, and we'll be approving art. But other than that, we take the month of December off every year just for everyone to chill. And then starting in January, we'll have Mary Machine Gun Dark America #1. Then January or February, we'll have Love and Madness. In March, we'll have Human Hunters #5. And in April, we'll have Ninja Bimbos versus Zombies from Deep Space #4. And then in May, we'll have Lady Blasphemy.
They just keep kicking them out over there at the Trump City Press. Yep. That's how they do it.
Make the books. Making books.
That is kind of what we're supposed to do. Everybody, we have a... Hold on. Just hold on. Sit right down.
So just sit right down, relax, open your ears real wide and say, give it to me straight, doctor, I can take it.
Kick the chocks out from under the wheels. Flaps up. No offense, Margaret. Contact. We're off. Rum, rum.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
What's up, Doc?
Look, right away. Right on the heels of the doctor. Right on the heels of the doctor.
Dishpan hands. Holy cow, that's Brian Christgau.
Yeah.
Hello, fellas. What's going on? What's going on?
Hold up. Look. Twins.
Hey, man, you can't grow your hair right. Don't grow it at all. Thanks for your kind words, Max. You're too kind.
Max is like, hey, as long as I still got this, we're good, right?
You know,
Yep.
I was thinking about, because I could rock a skullet, theoretically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the skullet, of course, is long in the back and nothing on top.
None in the front.
Yeah.
The serial killer cut.
Right. But you'd see like, Vickers in like 1800s England rocking that, right? Even some of our founding fathers rocking
I was going to say Benjamin Franklin.
Yes, rocked the skullet. So maybe one of these days I'll rock the skullet again. I mean, look, I always had kind of thin hair, but I didn't start going bald until about 40 or so, late 30s maybe. So I got to have like that nice period where I was like the New York City punk and the goth scene and everything, and I had like fucking hair like that here, like halfway down to my waist. So I enjoyed it while I had it.
Yeah, I was in the goth scene back in the 90s.
Well, the thing is, Brian, that you and I preserved our dignity. We didn't do the slow creep and the long. Come on, guys.
You have to. There's a certain point where you're just like, you gotta just, you just have to accept it.
Embrace the suck. Embrace the suck.
Yes.
Mine is going. Mine is going, but I'm trying to get the.
Oh, okay, but it's creeping back, right? You've got a receding hairline. Like, that's not too bad. But when it's thin on top and you see these fools do like the comb over,
yeah,
it's a stop. That and like the guys that, of course, a rug, Yes.
I am 60 years old.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I'm
F
60
you, Pops.
years old. I'm not waving this shit.
But in fairness, Pops has looked like that since he was 30.
Yeah, man.
Pops looked like that when he was 30. Come on.
I mean,
I take it. It's such an insult, a cosmic insult. It's like I'm born, I don't have any hair, then I have hair, then I don't have hair again. And it's just like, Lord, what you doing to me?
Well, this is how I feel about it. 1, I never have a bad hair day. 2, washing my hair is like washing my hands. It's that fast. 2, I never have to. 3, I never have to buy another hair dryer. 4, my hats fit better. You know, I mean, come on.
You see, you gotta look at those are all true, glass half full. But tell me, like, if they didn't have a cure for baldness tomorrow, you wouldn't be all over that shit.
No, actually, I wouldn't, and I'll tell you why.
Because Tacey likes him that way. That's
No. Because with this much sex appeal and charisma, if I had the long hair again, it wouldn't be fair to any of you other guys. Just saying.
That's true.
There's plenty of women, Doc. We ain't tripping. Go ahead, get your hair back.
Yeah, but they'd all be hitting on him. That's the problem. Man,
I
I can get my hair back, man. I'd be.
You can't have this much style and sex appeal and hair.
I'm trying to go for the George Carlin look with the receding hairline with the ponytail.
Ponytail, yeah. See, George was cool. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, you see, I don't know if it's that he made it work or just because George was such a legend and an icon and such a Chad that you know it's just like, well, anything would have looked cool on him because he was.
You know, all of you guys missed that. While I was extolling my own virtues and bragging, I drug the tip of my cigarette across my coffee mug, knocked ashes into my coffee and the fire onto the carpet.
And then drank it like a man. And then drank it like a man.
So I had to stomp out the fire, get another cigarette, and now the question is...
Drink it like a man, Doc. There you go.
Studley. That's a Chad move right there.
There's no... Listen. Like past Master Dan said, hit that like button. We won't judge you.
Those aren't 4 heads. Those are 5 heads, guys.
Yep,
it's 5 now. Just call it what it is. It's a 5 head.
Shit, I got like a 9 head.
Shigama. So, Christgau.
Yes.
Before we dive into what you've got going on these days, got 2 things for you. One, congratulations on finally getting settled.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You are very welcome, and I'm delighted for you. And I hope that addresses issue number 2. You are the second hardest person to reach in the community that I know.
Yes, he is.
Well, I mean, you know, I was in hotel purgatory for 2 months, which was not fun. Well, totally unexpected, not cool. I'm still kind of roughing it here at my new crib. Well, you know, I still don't have a couch. You know, I blew out my wrist, so I can't move shit myself. And so I got to get some friends in, but they're hard to get a hold of and actually, you know, get them to do anything, quite honestly. And so I still don't have a proper desk. This is a kid's desk.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, but I need a proper desk. So once I have a proper desk and I get a couch in here, and the next room is going to be my office, and that's where I'm going to write the Great American Comic Book, or at least hopefully some that don't suck. And then in here will be like, you know, the swinging bachelor pad. Like, you know,
all right.
Couch,
all right. But what we need from you right now, Brian Christgau,
yes, sir.
Is the commitment that I, Brian Christgau, a writer of great repute, will make myself available to you lower people more frequently for consults, consolation, commiserations.
Brian, I'm not going to let him look. Every Thursday night, Doc, during the Horror Movie Club, the link is there, and anybody can come hang out with us. He's always
that is not the same thing.
Because we talk about everything, dude.
Look. When I'm
It's
trying,
easy to get a hold of. You just show up on Thursday. That's all.
When I'm trying to get free consultation. Don't harsh my gig.
Dude, just hit me up. DM me on the Twatters. DM me on the Twatters. That's actually like the easiest way to get in touch with me. And you know me, you know, if people are looking for like help or advice, I mean, I'm shocked that people are. I mean, I'm actually like working as an editor right now.
I had to, Brian. I had to resort to relying on Max Devill.
Well, yeah. So
Good answer. Good answer.
That's an upgrade, son. That's an upgrade.
Oh, I kibitz. I'm blessed to be surrounded by all this great talent.
Look, I do want to get this out because look, Brian, you guys all know Six Gun Gorilla. But Brian does some other shit people might not know anything about. And I wanted to talk about it a little bit before Dirk gets here so that,
I do too.
Because, look.
I do too, but I do have a 6-gun question.
Please.
That I've been burning.
At your service, John.
Now, I know that he's a badass Western hero.
For sure.
But does he ever have a moment?
Oh, you mean like, does he go gorilla out? Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Well, he signs, right?
Okay. All right. Okay.
Because people were like, oh, well, does he talk? I'm like, well, he's a gorilla.
He was a circus gorilla, Doc.
I know the story.
Gorilla.
So he signs. They taught him to sign.
Not like any other gorilla, because there's a secret, actually, that I've revealed on like previous streams. I'm not going to reveal it on this one. Let's just say it's Tarzan related. And it's something that we'll reveal once that glorious day comes along and I can do 6-Gun Gorilla versus Tarzan and Pellucid.
I want first pick when they cast for the movie to play the gorilla. I want to do the motion cap.
Yeah, I was hoping more for like Rick Baker or somebody like that.
No. You need this face for a gorilla. Come on.
No, what I'm saying is, I remember like people saw Gorillas in the Mist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like, it was like Rick Baker and, one of the greatest special effects artists of all time, as obsessed with Great Apes as I am, big King Kong fan, naturally, big Mighty Joe Young fan. And people, when I told them that like, that was special effects, they were like, those aren't real gorillas? So, I mean, I think what works, and mind you, I think like the current, like the last trilogy of Planet of the Apes movies, I love the first one. I thought the first one was absolutely brilliant. I thought the second and the third were like, kind of mid.
Yeah, agreed.
The special effects
were on point all the way.
The second and the third one were just astonishing.
That's why you need Andy Serkis.
Yeah, right? That's his job for now. He played Ian Dury. Ian Dury from the Blockheads. He was like in the Ian Dury biopic. So he does still occasionally get a part where he's not mocapped.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's just so good at it.
He is. And remember, too, that CGI characters never worked until Gollum in The Lord of the Rings. Like that, because I remember thinking, like, couldn't they just do makeup or animatronics? Right. And that didn't win because it had a human being behind it, right? As opposed to something, CGI. It's always been good for non-organic things, right? But not living things. And then, of course, they start doing the mo capture, and some of that stuff is really astonishing. Yeah, so I'm not ruling out, Guillermo. I know Guillermo del Toro does have a copy of trade paperback. I know because a friend of mine gave it to him. So, Guillermo, hit me up, brother. And we'll work something out. I'll consider.
As he flatly rejects me in favor of all these other people.
All you need to do, all you need to do is come at the 6-Gun Gorilla with an option.
Yeah, man.
That's all you want is an option.
Yes.
All right, so
yes,
let's move on to the new stuff that Christgau's cooking.
The new stuff. Well, I just got this in the mail the other day. The other Dizzy.
And that's what I want you to talk about. Right there.
Nice. All right. And, so, what's going on with this, Brian Christgau?
Well, my boy Adam Lawson did a book called The Kill Journal. Great concept, right? It's all about like masked killers, slashers, basically, right?
Right.
And he has like an explanation for them, which is that they're revenants. and they're these monsters that are created by traumatic deaths, right? Jason drowning in the lake, right? Freddy Krueger being burned to death, so on and so forth, right? So these are creatures that come back, and the way that you destroy them is you recreate the circumstances that created them in the first place.
Oh.
But what's especially great...
So like you got to drown Jason.
Exactly. You have to burn Freddy Krueger, right? And but what's best about this series is that it's very much about answering the question of what happens to the final girl after the credits have rolled, right?
Right.
People who survived, it's like they've just seen all of their friends murdered, maybe their families, and because that's the whole thing, the final girl, the last survivor.
Nancy.
What happens to that person? And so these people are left with this deep-seated trauma. And the way that they're working it out is, at least this group of people, is they're going after these revenants, and they're trying to save people by putting these things to rest. And Adam always has this at the beginning of the Kill Journal. Are you a victim or a survivor?
Nice.
So he commissioned me to write he wanted to do little dossiers, little short stories about the origins of the main characters. And I actually got the character that I wanted, that I was crossing my fingers for, who is Finch. Finch is a young man who was raised as a fighting dog, basically a human pit bull, by his fiend of a father. And so I wrote the story. It was a 6-pager. And Maxi Diallo and Mike Spicer did the art. Maxi doing the pencils, and Sean doing these absolutely fantastic, absolutely beautiful colors. And this introduces also Mr. Crispy, who I'm very happy to say actually has ended up being kind of like the favorite out of all the different revenants. I'll take it. That's like, it's pretty cool. And he did such a beautiful job. And I always do this, I'm sorry, but yeah, like you see that final frame at the bottom.
Nice.
He's failed at saving his father, because to me that's the really messed up thing, is that he still loved his father, even though his father was, monstrous to him. And so shadow is like the shadow of a crouched dog.
Right.
And people were like complimenting me on that, and I was just like, I didn't write that. That was Maxi. And that's the thing about when you're working with an artist, you don't want somebody that's just going to do your story justice. You want somebody that's going to take it to the next level, that's going to make your script better. And he's that guy. And, I lobbied for him on a project that we're working on now called Blood Moon Stomp. That's going to be The Wrestler meets The Shining.
All right.
Right. But yeah, this is like an added 22-page story. And it's about the birth of Mr. Crispy.
Oh.
A homeless man who gets set on fire. And
put that back up there again. Missed that.
Yeah, there he is.
The birth of Mr. Crispy.
The moment of his career. Right there.
Good stuff.
Look at this art. I've been so lucky, so blessed to be working with like the people that I've been working with. It's incredible. Just super talented people that, like I said, take everything to the next level.
It's always it makes it worth it when you work with people that are professional, they're good, and they share the passion on the project.
Who does your lettering?
That's what I've gotten. I'm sorry?
Who does your lettering?
This was lettered by Adam himself.
Oh, okay.
And Adam is just a joy to work with. He's worked with. I don't want to boast about this, but I do have to mention. I actually introduced him to this whole community, and he's given work to me and a bunch of other people too, which is
nice,
fantastic. And he's just a joy to work with because, the way that I approach something was, if I'm writing something for myself, it's very different than if I'm writing something on commission, if I'm writing something for a client.
Right.
And so the way that we work is that we bounce ideas around, right? Like he kind of gives me he's like, okay, I want the origin of Mr. Crispy. I'm like, okay, and I'll come up with something, and then I bounce the ball back to him. Then he makes some suggestions, bounces the ball back to me, and his suggestions are always on point. Like his storytelling instincts are very good. I'm much better than him at pacing. So we kind of gel in a very good way. And of course, it's always about the finished product.
Right.
You never hear a hit. All the people I work with, not a single one of them have I ever heard, well, no, we'll go with my idea because my idea is better because it's my idea. Right. Because who gives a fuck, as Sergeant Fryer said. Who gives a fuck? No, the reader doesn't care. They don't care who came up with what. They just care about the finished product. They just care about the comic book, and that's all that matters.
I just want to know I love what I spent my money on. I just want to know that.
Yeah, check this out. It's like a beautiful, metallic sheen.
Yep.
The Kill Journal, yo.
Yeah, man. Signed by Maxie and Adam. Maxie, whom I've never met, but if I ever run into, look, I'm a hugger to begin with, so anybody I meet at conventions, you're all getting fucking, you're getting a man hug whether you like it or not.
Christgau bear hug, whether you want it or not. Yeah.
But you can taser me or something like that. But and I respect personal boundaries. You know what I mean? If there's certain people that I know are just kind of like, don't hug me. I'm like, oh, yeah, I respect that. Otherwise, fuck you. You're getting a hug. Maxie's one of these guys because I've never met him, and he's just doing such absolutely beautiful work, and I am so proud to be a part of this project. And let's see. Oh yeah, and there's a little patch in here. I'm shitty at sewing, but this is going somewhere. This is going probably on my leather jacket.
Oh, yeah. The Gifted Rebels patch.
Gifted Rebels. That's Homeboy Adams' clique, his crew, which I'm very happy to be associated with. And so we did that, and then also in the works is Blood Moon Stomp, which is going to be like an 80-page plus graphic novel or trade paperback. Cool. I hate that term, graphic novel. Right? It sounds so pretentious, but what I'm saying is, I don't think it's going to be individual issues. I think it's just going to be a trade paperback. And let me give you a little peek, a little teaser on let's see here.
You're slow, Duke. Now.
You know what? I spend it's like I got Baldur's Gate on in like the background.
Think about he's trying to play video games right now. We know how it is. Me and Doc.
Yeah. Pops, can you share my screen?
I do not see your screen to share.
Okay.
But what I can do.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right. See, I'm not used to being on the other end.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, man.
But what I am going to do, because it is 5:45, and Brian, I don't know if you've ever met this guy before, but you said something about meeting people at cons and giving them big bear hugs and shit like that, right? And that was a great segue into bringing in my next guest, who I've met at cons more than once. Okay, so we're still going to show you your stuff, but everybody say hello to the one, the only, Mr. Dirk Manning. What's up, Dirk?
What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, you know what's up. Let's take a quick look at what Brian wanted to show us real quick.
Real quick. Yeah, so like I said, this is like basically Adam approached me and said, I want the Wrestler Meets The Shining. And that's hopefully what I have given him.
There you go.
And he was actually going to use a different artist on this, but I just kept pushing for Maxie. I was like, Maxie's the guy, Maxie's the guy, Maxie's the guy. Because he'd done such a beautiful job on the Kill Journal stuff. And Adam's like, yeah, you were totally right. And that should be coming out early next year. And I got a bunch of other stuff, some stuff I can't even be talking about. So
that's the way it's supposed to be, right? You got to always have. Look, every time I talk to Dirk, it's the same way. Every time I talk to Dirk, it's like he'll be like, "Well, I got stuff I can't tell you about."
Well, like Brian was saying, though, it's such a wonderful position to be in, right? To be in a spot where we're grinding out and have stuff you can't talk about yet. This is the place where when you get started on this journey, and Pops and you and I talked about this at Grand Rapids Comic-Con a couple weeks back, my 20th year in the game, right? Wow. And when you get started, this is the spot you dream of being in, where it's like, oh my God, I'm like booked out for the next year. I got these books coming out, when originally you're just like, oh, if I could just get this one book out, it's like I get the next one out. Yeah. And now, being 15 months ahead of schedule and having books that you can't even talk about yet, that's living the dream, man. That's living the dream,
Yeah, man. Yeah, boy.
And, speaking of that, look at this, Max. He's pulling Atrocity Press numbers. He's pulling Mary Machine Gun numbers right here, dude.
That's my people. I didn't put that money into this. I didn't. I'm very grateful that people are responding to Hope and the second volume of Hope. So that's a team effort. So I appreciate that, but my love goes out to everybody who's been backing this campaign, checking it out, things like that. It's very flattering. It's very humbling. I'm very honored. I take this obligation very seriously to give people the best work that we can put forward. And I'm glad that people are responding in kind.
Dude,
do you have a digital offering, Dirk?
Yeah. You can actually get the PDF. In fact, someone else just asked about getting a PDF of Hope Volume 1 and 2. But if you scroll down, we do digital.
I was just going to say, what was the digital backers? How many digital backers did you get?
I would have to look on the screen, to be honest. I don't know.
Digital Hope 22 backers.
Yeah.
See, that's good, because like my last campaign, almost 50% of my backers were digital.
Oh, right on.
And that, while cool, because I don't have to print and ship anything, I just send it out to them.
Right.
I lost a lot of money because I need those people to be buying the physicals to make my money back.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting too. When I do a Kickstarter, and it's been like this since day one with me doing Kickstarters, when I do a Kickstarter, I always offer a Kickstarter exclusive hardcover edition of the book, right? You can see a little bit of my office. I'm surrounded by books, right? It's like my own personal library in here. I love books. And what I'm doing with Hope Volume 2, which people can check out at aheroforhope.com, or any campaign, is I offer a Kickstarter exclusive hardcover edition of the book, but you can only get the hardcover edition for the duration of the Kickstarter. So if we end up selling 250, 300, whatever, 50 hardcovers, we print that many, and that's it. We print a little bit of overage, obviously, for damages.
Yeah.
But the only way you can ever get the hardcover edition of the book is via
through the campaign.
After that, we offer a trade paperback edition. In fact, on this campaign, one of the things that's cool is if you back the campaign for any pledge level that includes at least a hardcover, one of the things that we're doing is we've unlocked a Kickstarter exclusive wraparound cover. They'll be exclusive to the hardcover. So now not only are you getting the Kickstarter exclusive hardcover edition of the book, you're getting exclusive cover art with it, along with the 6 other stretch goals we've unlocked so far, which is the sticker, the bookmark, because I'm a sucker for bookmarks, a book plate signed by me, signed by Sally Scott, the artist, a remark on it by Sally Scott as well, and now we got that wraparound cover as well.
So the wraparound, is it a dust jacket or is it printed on the book?
No, I'm actually printing around the book. We're doing the same thing we did with Volume 1. So this is the standard edition of the trade paperback edition of Hope Volume 1, right here. Cool cover. But then when we did the Kickstarter, right on the book,
yep,
that's the wraparound.
Yeah, I like that.
Right, right, and yeah, dust jackets are cool. But to me, whenever I go to read a book, as a dust jacket, what's the first thing you do?
You take it off.
You take it off, man. No,
you take that damn dust jacket off. It's in my way.
Right, exactly. I want that cool art right on the book. So every time I pick up my Kickstarter exclusive hardcover, I'm like, yeah, that's the exclusive version of the book, right? That's the version that I got that because I jumped in, I backed the Kickstarter, I pre-ordered it that way, I supported the team up front. That's, to me, it's all about paying it forward. And that's what we do. Really
I might need to talk to you about who you're using to print those hardcovers.
Yeah, get at me on the side. I can talk about. I mean,
everyone that I've talked to just does dust sleeves.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, get at me. I mean, I work. I serve as special projects manager over at Source Point Press. They obviously do a lot to help me out on some of that stuff. But yeah, we can talk for sure. I'm also very big on paying it forward. I wrote that, right?
Spirit, man. That's the spirit. That's the indie spirit, as well.
Well,
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I always said if I ever got to the point where I was making comics, I would do everything I could to help other people get there. Right.
There you go.
I grew up. I grew up. Even when I started creating comics, when I was publishing my first book, Nightmare World, as an online comic, I didn't even have internet in my house, which I know seems crazy now, right? But I couldn't afford internet.
Yeah,
right back then, it's like it's not like we had phones with internet and stuff like that. I had to go to the library to see my online comic published online.
Yeah.
So
they had internet cafes back then.
I had to go to the library.
I'm saying
the library had like 4 computers with internet on them, and it was like, dang. And then you had they had like a time limit, like you only be on them like 30 minutes. Yeah. But again, this is 20 years ago, right? You can see the gray hair here, right?
Well, that's what I was saying. 20 years ago, where I lived, we had the library, and then we had Cybertown.
Okay.
And Cybertown was an internet cafe that had 8 computers, and you could either go in there, and it was the first place with like high-speed internet.
Yep.
So you could go in there and surf the web, or they were all networked together, so you could play like Call of Duty, or what was it? It wasn't really Call of Duty back then. It was some other game.
No,
Medal of Honor or something like that.
Yeah, we had the library, or we had like Kinko's, but Kinko's charged you by the minute for the internet.
Wow.
Right. So if you need to do something online late at night, you have to go to Kinko's, and like they were charging you like by the minute. I wish I could remember how much it was, but there's a couple of times I had to go in there and like do something. I'm like, oh man, and hurry it up and type it as fast as you can. But so I guess it goes back to what I was saying earlier, even about the Hope Volume 2 campaign being as successful as it is that I don't take any of this for granted.
Right.
Right. I'm very, and especially, coming from not having internet in my own home to now being able to sit here and live stream with all you guys and talk about this, or bring my work out through Source Point Press and offer Kickstarter exclusive hardcovers and know that we can make these books possible and know that people will enjoy them. It's an honor, and it's very humbling to do this and to be 20 years in the game and have 20 original. No offense, man, Brian, but graphic novels right? To have 20 graphic novels published in 20 years, right? Plus, not to mention all the the other one-off stuff I've done here and there. It's I'm very fortunate and I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful to have this opportunity. And just like to be talking.
A little gratitude goes a long way, don't it?
What's that?
A little gratitude goes a long way, don't it?
That's it. You can't forget where you came from.
Never.
That's crucial.
Yeah.
Good. I can remember the first time I met Dirk at Grand Rapids Comic Con a couple of years ago, and Brad, my cameraman, was already a huge fan, and he was like, "Oh, I got that, but I don't got that and that," and he started just grabbing stuff off Dirk's table, right? And we did a little interview, and Dirk actually did a promo spot for us.
Yep,
which
I remember that one.
Still play, great guy. Okay, look, when you walk by Dirk's table, Dirk's going to get your attention. He's trying to promote what he does. He's trying to sell books. It's what you're supposed to do. He's not sitting on his chair with his head down looking at his phone, right? He's there to interact with people and sell books.
He's like,
that comics con that I went to.
He's all,
hey,
big face.
Shit. Because I was just like, where's your hustle? Where's your convention?
It was funny because we did that promo spot twice, right? Because the first time he said Comic Madness Network or something, he said, and I was
it was late in the day, man. I was burned out.
And I was like, no, it's the Madness Comic Network. So we did it again. But the camera angle, you could see the guy in the booth next to him, behind him, and he had just heard this, and he's listening to it again, and he's just smiling. He's like, this is so, you know what I mean? It's like even the people around him and the tables around him are affected by his enthusiasm and what he does, and it's awesome.
When I was at Planet Comic Con, I don't remember the name of the artist, but he was at Artist Alley, and he was pulling people in through Artist Alley it was some aggressive marketing, because he's all out there, and it's like, as soon as some guy's walking by, he's all like, "You son of a bitch, come on over here."
I'm going to be straight with all you about this. The one thing there's two things you'll never see me do at a Comic-Con if I'm behind a table. One is sit down, unless I'm eating. Like if I'm like grabbing a sandwich real quick, I don't want to be like standing up. I'm always standing at my table, right? Like if I'm like getting something to eat real quick, I'm like, like taking like a bite of a sandwich. But the other thing is, I don't ever call people out. I'll stand there, I'll be approachable. Someone makes eye contact or look at the books, say, "Hey, how's it going?" If anything looks, my hardest sell on anything cold is if someone's looking at stuff, I'll say, "If anything looks interesting, feel free to check it out."
Yep.
That's it. Because you'll look at my tape. I write mainly horror stuff, and you'll see the covers of my books, and you'll know. But then they say they're looking at Hope. Like, "Oh, this looks interesting. Here's what it's about."
Yep.
They're looking at Cthulhu Jr. Here's what it's about. They're looking at Tales of Mystery. Oh, here's what it's about. But that's it. But yeah, I've been at shows where people like call out and like do that carnival barking stuff. And I'm gonna be just honest with you. As a creator, I've seen that kill an aisle, man. I can't stand it, because once they start people like walk and they like walk around. It's like, no, man, no, you're come on, man, be cool. If your stuff looks interesting and your setup is, there's tricks you can do at your table to make sure, not even tricks, just techniques you can use at your table to make sure people see your stuff. And I've seen people with flashier displays than mine, but when you walk by my table, you're going to see books. You can see books. And if you're interested in comics and you're interested in books and something looks interesting, you're going to wander over. We'll like Pop said, we'll chat for a minute. Yeah. But a lot of people, they're only interested in prints, they're interested in original art, they don't like scary stuff. They're going to walk right by, right on. That's fine. I get it. I go to Comic-Cons as a fan too. I not only can't afford to buy everything, not everything interests me, and that's okay. But I would rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies, right? Yeah. I want to engage with people that are going to be interested in this stuff. They're going to check it out. They're going to and build that readership and have that relationship and do it that way. I've seen people hard sell customers and then brag about it, but it's like, that person's never going to go. Man, if that person sees you another con, they're going to go in the other direction. Because you nailed them.
It better be a good book. It better have been a really good book.
Yeah, exactly. They better have read that and said, man, that person twisted my arm, but holy mackerel, am I glad they did. But here's the thing. People don't remember what you, I didn't know I was trying to right or wrong seminar, sorry. People don't remember what you sell. They remember how you make them feel.
Yeah.
And that's both in person as well as with the books that you're offering.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the key. That's what it's about. It's about that relationship, like Pop said, peer to peer, but it's also about that relationship about when you buy that book, did you feel, man, I'm glad I got this.
Yes.
Man, I'm glad. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait to go back to Grand Rapids Comic Con or Cherry Capital Comic Con or C2E2 or New York Comic Con, wherever it is. And I can't wait to go see that guy again so I can get his next thing or get something else from his table. Or in the case of Brad, get everything I don't have on the table. Whatever it may be.
And
I'm sure you probably had this experience, Dirk.
Speaking of getting stuff off Dirk.
Oh, yeah, you got the last one. Yeah.
This one.
Uh-huh.
Tell him a little bit about that one, Dirk.
Yeah, man. So that was, I did a graphic novel with Tony Schiavone from All Elite Wrestling, who also works with Conrad Thompson. And that book was an exclusive you could only get if you subscribed to the Ad-Free Shows network for a year. And I wrote all the text, me and Mike Dawkins, and we kind of, worked on that together. We did that. And what ended up happening is I got a couple comps, and then I have a box on my table a lot of times. It shows of like rare stuff and out of print stuff, And originally, I'm just gonna true confession. I'm a bit of a hoarder with my own stuff. Like you can't see it, but over here I have like a spinner rack that I'm filling with all my work. And then I've got, so that's like my public copies, right? But then I've got like my private like copies. Like I'm building the world's coolest, estate sale when I die, But it got to a point where I realized, do I need 5 copies of everything I've done? Especially 20 years in the game, that's a lot of space. Or do I need like 2? So what I did is I started going through all my personal vault copies and started sprinkling them out in there. And then it's cool because like Pops was saying, he got this really cool book that is out of print. You cannot get that book unless you subscribe to Ad-Free Shows for a year, and it was a giveaway. Well, a giveaway in exchange for the yearly subscription. That was it. But it makes me so happy to like see that, Pops can come and get that book, this wrestling book that's so awesome. Or sometimes if I have overages from like a Kickstarter exclusive comic I do, there's not many. It might be like 4 or 5.
Brad, he said something to the effect of, check out that box. I'll cut your deal.
Yeah.
And we both grabbed something out of that box, right?
Yep.
And
right.
Oh, dude, look, there was this. It was this the probably the highlight for me of everything in that box, without a doubt. I didn't even go through the whole box though. As soon as I saw that one,
like, that's what I want, right?
It was like I pulled that. I was like, okay, I'm good. I got the one I want. It didn't matter what else was in the box. You see what I'm saying? I was like,
yeah, like I think Brad picked up a bunch of Tales of Mystery stuff that, again, we had a little bit of overage on some of the old Kickstarter exclusive comics. I sneak them in the box. They're my overage copies. Everyone got theirs. They're not going to do me a good sin here. I'm not going to burn them, but they brought him a lot of joy. And then, like you said, hooking you guys up, because you guys do so much to pay it forward to creators and stuff like that. Man, if I can pay it forward to you, that's what it's about. And just like people that come every year to certain shows to see me, I'm going to do everything I can to hook people up, because, capitalism's all well and good, but at the same time, I appreciate people making this possible.
The fans, man. Look,
right.
A lot of people don't understand. I'm a fan of comics. That's how I got into comics. All this YouTube and everything all fell out of being a fan of comics.
Absolutely.
Okay? I'm not an artist or a writer or any of that. Maybe a little bit of a big mouth personality, but you know what I mean? It's like, It's like, I'm not industry. Okay. I'm a fan of the industry. And some of these guys, like, Dirk's been around for 20 years. He falls into that category of people that have offered me a lifetime of entertainment. Okay. Because there's going to be people that got into comics when they were 15 and they're 35 now. Right. And they're looking back going, I remember Dirk getting Dirk's comics from 20 years ago,
Dude,
bro.
I just had this happen. I want to say it was at New York Comic-Con. This guy that walked by and he kind of stopped and he looked. And I go, hey, how's it going? I go, if anything looks interesting, feel free to check it out. And he kind of walks over almost like slow-mo, like real slow. And he's like, he goes, Nightmare World. I go, yeah. And I kind of start telling him about it. And he goes, I read this when I was in high school. Online. He goes, but then eventually the server moved and stuff and I couldn't find the book for years. And he's telling me some of the stories I wrote inspired him to do some stories and stuff like that. And it was so cool, man. And again, but then again, this guy's in his 30s, right? He's he's talking about reading this stuff in high school. I'm like, oh, there's I guess it has been 20 years, hasn't it?
For me,
I think there's been 5 iterations of people that have gone through high school.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm
I just saw more drinking. Thanks, man. Oh, my knees are aching. What's happening?
Check it out, guys. I'm 60.
When I did the Right or Wrong column, Newsarama, when I was at C2E2 this last year, I had one of the big writers at Marvel walk by and he saw my banner, which I always have this is my publicity photo is this photo right here. And he stopped and he goes, hey man, and he goes, you Dirk? I go, yeah, I know. I don't really wear top hat and scarf in real life. And he goes, I read Right or Wrong and Newsarama back in the day, and that was a really big part of what could get me started writing comics. Like, oh well, thank you so much. You go, what's your name? And tells me and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the guy that's writing Carnage right now. It's so cool and writing Spider-Man and stuff like that. But again, it's about that paying forward. But yeah, it's about those generations of creators that we can help.
This is what I was saying. It's I'm 60. When I say somebody that's offered me a lifetime of entertainment, I look at people like Mike Barron, okay, who has been a part of since I first started reading comics, right? Mike Barron. Then I get to meet him and get to know him and become friends with him and stuff all these years later. Right? Okay. The game has changed. I didn't know who Mike Barron was then. I knew The Punisher was a badass book and The Badger was cool.
Yeah, Badger, right.
You know what I mean? The stuff I was reading that he wrote was cool. I didn't even know who wrote it or drew it. I didn't care. I was 15 years old. I was reading comics, right? Okay.
Well, see, I mean, you make a really fascinating point there too, and I guess this comes back to even with Hope. If you scroll to the top of the page for the second too, you'll see this again. I have this philosophy when I write that any book I write, you should be able to pick it up and read it and know what's going on within 5 pages. Tops. You should be able to figure it out. Yeah. And with Hope, this is a book that I found so many women readers especially would gravitate to this book and they would buy it. And I would start to tell them, they'd look at it and start to tell them about it. And they say, no, I'm good. I just want, how much is it? Because it's a non-sexualized female character. And they were like, this is what I'm looking for. Or again, with Hope Volume 1, it's called Mother, it's about, and Julie Lavelle is a mom. And they're like, I want that. I want that. Right. And it's so important to make books that are accessible and that speak to different people and the experiences that they have and things that they can relate to, right?
I totally agree with you. I'm on the flip side of that. I make all sorts of exploitative.
There's a market for that, man. Look,
there's a market
for that too.
Yeah, there's a market for it.
Yeah. Every genre should be accessible, right? One of the biggest mistakes the American comic book industry ever made was they stopped making comics for girls, right? And look at how manga is killing it now. And that readership is predominantly female, right? Because they're making comics. that speak to girls. But
well, yeah, and hope is something that doesn't necessarily just speak to be fair, doesn't just speak to women. It just so happens the main character is a woman, right? But it's like you can pick it up and read it, and you can jump into volume 2 and pick it up and read it. Or by Sears Tales of Mystery, volume 5 came out last year. You can pick it up and read it, and then if you like it, you can go forward. You can go you can go back to the beginning, whatever you want to do. With Hope, I did something called a pledge level called I'm New Here Too, that you can get volume 1, then you get the Kickstarter exclusive hardcover of volume 2 with all the extra stretch goal stuff and all that as well. But it's so important that whether it be, women readers, young readers, old readers, return readers, you got to make stuff that's accessible, that they can pick it up and get into it. And it can be accessible, but still have complex characters and dynamic situations. But you think back to one of the first comics I ever read was The Incredible Hulk by Peter David. And it was like in the issue 360s. I didn't need to go back and read 360 issues of The Incredible Hulk to figure out what was going on. I got the gist because I saw the TV show when I was younger. And I'm like, this looks interesting. Oh, this is neat. Oh, I'm going to check this out. And there you go, right? Eventually I went back and read thank you, man. I appreciate you. Eventually I went back and read all the Peter David stuff, because it was like you were saying too, Pops. It's like, oh, this writer, he's really good. Has he written? Oh, he's written Hulk for a while. So I started going back and checking out more and more of his stuff, right? Or then certain artists were really good. I'm like, oh, they're drawing something else. I'm going to check that out. But the books need to be accessible. That's one of the things that I'm really proud of with Hope, is that this is Hope is not a superhero book. It's a book about a superhero.
Right.
And it sheds a lot of that baggage that comes, I think, with a lot of superhero comics. This is not a book about people in spandex punching each other. Again, that's okay. There's really good books about that. But Hope is about a woman who moonlights as a superhero, and what happens when in the first 5 pages she has to reveal her secret identity to protect her family from a car accident. That's what it's about. And one of my longtime collaborators, Josh Ross, actually just by fluke, he'd never read Hope, and went back and read the first volume, and he's like, wow, he goes, this is like a Dirk Manning story, but it's not, because you mainly do horror stuff, and that's there, but he's like, this is such a departure from what you do, but it's not. Because Hope, despite this aesthetic and Sally Scott's art, gorgeous, gorgeous art, Hope is legitimately one of the scariest comics I write. And this is the guy that writes Nightmare World and Tales of Mystery and, Love Stories to Die For and really hardcore horror stuff. I'm a horror guy. And despite this very beautiful, aesthetically pleasing cover, Hope is one of the scariest comics I write. Because it's real. It's about this woman struggling with losing her anonymity and protecting her family. And in volume 2, especially, all the supervillains now know who she is and that she has a family and her identity is out there. And what are you going to do, when they come to your house? Stuff like that.
It's kind of trippy that you take away her anonymity right away.
Yeah.
Like right away, she has to.
5 pages, man.
This is who I am to my mom and dad and my whole family right there on day one. It's like a unexpected coming out party.
Yeah. That's the hook of the story, though.
Right.
Yeah,
that's the hook of the story. I mean, that's
pretty cool.
And I'll be honest with you, that's the first hook. The end of the first issue. Again, talking about accessibility and bringing people back in. This is the end of the first chapter of the first volume. I'm going to kind of give it away. Not only does she lose her secret identity during the car accident, her husband gets put into a coma. And at the end of the first issue, Children's Services comes and takes away her daughter.
Oh.
So now you're looking at a story where she has superpowers and all this stuff. Not all villains can be punched. What you can do? Punch out Children's Services? Because they say, look, your kid's in danger right now. We need to step back and take her from you to figure out what's going to be best for her. What do you do? She can lift a truck.
Yeah, I'm gonna be hitting the CPS in the head with that truck.
yeah. Well, right. And you know what? And that's a real good theory. But what's it going to prove?
You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Though? Natural parental instinct. You ain't taking my kid. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
believe me. The first issue, like when all of a sudden she's in the hospital and she realizes, like, where's Anna? Where's Anna? And stuff like that. And they're like, you need to calm down. You need to calm down, ma'am. And she actually she pushes what she's like, I just want to see my kid, and like knocks a guy through the wall. They're like, see, hold on. Have you ever lost your temper with you? And there are all these layers to it and stuff like that. And that's just the first issue of the first volume, right? And now we're doing the Kickstarter for volume 2 at aheroforhope.com. But that's really the other thing the story's about. Not only her losing her anonymity, but then also trying to struggle to get custody of her daughter back. And then the supervillains all know who she is. The media is judging her and all this stuff. And she was Hope because she didn't want it. In the world of Hope, you find out that people that have powers, they have the option to register. And if you register, you get all kinds of perks, right? The government, you work for the Ultra Affairs Office, things like that.
You know, for property damage.
Well, yeah, right. You're protected. But she didn't want to do that. She didn't want to dedicate her life to and she's very open about it. She's like, I didn't want to get involved in that. I happen to be one of the people that got powers. I don't want to go do that stuff. I want to be a wife. I want to be a mom. I want to be a private citizen. But she does put on the costume and saves cats from trees. Or when there's a car accident, when there's a jam, a traffic jam on the highway and an ambulance can't get to the hospital, she goes and she gets the ambulance to the hospital. But then she goes back home, right? And she just turns it off. And her husband and her daughter didn't know about what she did, right? But then when she gets outed in the first 5 pages, her whole world turns upside down, right? And that's really ultimately what the crux of the story is about. And again, in volume 2, which is now on Kickstarter, we're seeing more and more now the court of public opinion and the courts in general, but now the supervillains are really starting to come after her, right? Because they can make an example of her, and she's not protected because she's not registered, and she didn't want to register. And you know what? Because the government took her daughter, she's kind of pissed off at the government right now too, right? So it's like, what do you do now all of a sudden when and it was on the page earlier, but like this gaggle of really bad people start coming after you. Oh, and
does CPS go after the registered heroes kids? Just a question.
No, actually, no, because if you're registered, you're offered a level of protection that they feel Julie was not offering her daughter, right? If you're registered, they know who you are, they have protections in place and things like that. But she's like, I don't want to do that. I want to live off the grid. I just want to do my thing.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely not. And that's the thing. Well, one of her best friends, Helena Boy, in the comics, she says to her at one point, why don't you just register? And she's like, I shouldn't have to. Mm-hmm. Which, again, creates an interesting conundrum because it's like, don't you want to do it to try to get your kid back? But at the same time, they already got her kid. And so again, there's a lot of layers to this. And I've talked about this.
Well, it shows a high level of conviction, so that's pretty cool.
She has a very high level of conviction. And here's the other thing, and we talk about this in the book too. Hope would this have happened if Hope was a guy? Probably not. Probably not. Let's be real. Would they come in and take a guy's kid away if he got outed as a superhero? Probably not. Right?
It only depends on the superhero.
It depends. And I don't want to give away too much in the story, but I'll tell you what, that's certainly how Hope feels about it. And maybe she's wrong, maybe she's not. But she has very strong conviction, possibly too much. But that's part of the story, right? She's a very complex character, and she's not always going to do the thing that maybe all of us would necessarily agree with. She doesn't even necessarily feel the way we do, about a lot of things. So it's a very, and again, and I've said this before too, I'm a middle-aged white guy. Spoiler, I cannot write about the woman's experience. I can't write about the experience of being a woman. I can't talk about systemic chauvinism, for example, or things like that. But I can tell a story about a woman character having an experience.
Well, of course.
And that's ultimately what
the
this is about,
experience
right?
that she has.
That's what this is about. It's about this character, and she's dealing with different issues. She has, like you said, very strong conviction about something, and go.
Well, I mean, we're writers. What do? We put ourselves in other people's shoes. In order to be a good writer, you have to have a certain level of empathy and also imagination, right? That's why it drives me crazy when they're like, oh, no, well, if you're going to write about this particular person or somebody from that culture, you have to be that person. I'm like, bullshit. Right?
Yeah. I'm not a Cthulhu either. I write about Cthulhu a lot, right? You know,
there you go.
But again,
The Remains of the Day, which is about like Elizabethan England, right? And a manservant, written by a Japanese author.
You're right.
Right. But again, you just have to be authentic about what you're doing. I'm not writing about the woman's experience. I'm writing about a woman and her experience, having an experience.
Yeah, you're providing the experience, so obviously you get to provide her reaction to said experience. You're the writer. People need to lighten up.
I mean, you can. You should always do your research and to figure out what your character believes. I mean, as you said, she's got high convictions. Like I said earlier, she's highly convicted.
She's convicted. That's true.
Yeah. So you need to have those convictions. What convictions are there? You know, what convictions exist? I mean, obviously it's like for most of us, racism is bad. That's a good conviction to have. But then you have bad convictions that you can have as well.
Absolutely.
And that's why I like complex characters like that. So it sounds like a pretty cool story.
I appreciate that. And that's it. Now, just to go another direction, one of the books I have coming out next year is a book called Homestead with a friend of some of yours, Les Garner, who's the artist on that book.
My dude.
Yeah, you're right. I've known Les a long time. Years ago, I met Les. I said, we're going to work together on something someday. I have the thing in mind, and we're going to get there. And we did. But it's a book called Homestead, and at its surface, it's a werewolf Western, right? But ultimately, it's about white settlers coming into conflict with the Lakota people over the Homestead Act. Now, that was a book that I determined early on, given the depth of exploration of the Lakota culture that we're going to be doing in this book, I'm like, I need to go even deeper than this. I need to really talk to someone. And luckily I found, I've become good friends with a proud member of the Lakota Nation who was able to help guide me in regards to some of the cultural issues and even the language and even the language of the Lakota. That was, for something like that was really, really important. And it's funny with Homestead, he was like, well, these words you're using aren't real Lakota words. And I said, I've been researching the story for like 15 years. I'm shocked to hear that. And I've cross-referenced everything 3 times. I wasn't thinking to defend myself, but to say, look, I'm sorry. I've researched this up, down, and sideways, and I thought this was legit. And he goes, no. He goes, these are made up words. He's like, this is like no. And I said to him, I said to him, oh, I'm shocked. I said, why is it? I said, I've cross-referenced this on the internet. This is this. And I said to him, why do you think it is that I looked like 5 different sources and they're all telling me that this is proper words for the Lakota? And he said something that just broke my heart, and it was so life-changing. He goes, people don't care. He goes, people don't care enough to make sure the Lakota language is properly represented on the internet.
Yeah, empathy is the enemy of everyone, Apathy. I mean,
apathy. Yeah, that was it. Not empathy. Wait, what? Apathy, right?
Empathy is the enemy of everyone. I hate everything.
Yeah, right. But yeah, that apathy that was there, and that people just Alan Moore used a term years ago in an interview that lives in my brain: the human centipidification of knowledge, right? It's like you just got everyone eating each other's shit and just regurgitating to the next person. One person put online, oh, this word is the Lakota word for a white person. And next thing you know, every other website says the same thing, right? The human centipidification of knowledge. And it was so eye-opening and so powerful for me to realize, like, wow, man, I'm glad I did this. I'm glad that
you brought up my boy, so I got to highlight his work. This is Les drew this for me.
Yes, he's so good. And again, Homestead will be on Kickstarter next year, but I might keep it more hope-centric now, right? But it's one of those things that, Les is incredible. But when we talk about empathy and recognizing what your boundaries are as a writer. But with Hope, ultimately, this is just a book about a character with very strong conviction, perhaps too much at times, and putting her in a very dynamic situation where her secret identity has been revealed to the world. And now what happens is, in Hope Volume 2, is what happens now when the villains start to actively come at her. Volume 1 is very much about that relationship and that struggle with trying to regain custody of her daughter. And there are supervillains in it, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But Hope Volume 2 now is, well, now the supervillains are coming too. Now they're actively like organizing, and what's going to happen when you're no support and here they come and she doesn't know they're coming, but they're coming. And again, there's a pledge level too that called I'm New Here Too on the campaign, where you can get the Volume 1, the special edition Volume 1 trade paperback, the Volume 2 Kickstarter exclusive hardcover, all 7 stretch goals we've unlocked so far, at a bundled price with free U.S. shipping. Everything on this Kickstarter campaign is free U.S. shipping. So what you see is what you pay. I'm holding that line as long as I can. Canadian friends, international friends,
sorry,
I appreciate you, but I can't pay you to read my books. I'm sorry, it's not there, So I do offer shipping as inexpensively as possible internationally. What I can do, though, in the U.S., free U.S. shipping for anything that people order through anything that includes the hardcover at heroforhope.com on Kickstarter.
And
or just go to heroforhope.com or go to Kickstarter, type in Hope, then space the number 2. It'll bring you right to this campaign, and you can join 246 other people and counting, and 10 days left. So,
dude, I want to thank you for coming out and giving us some of your time, because I know you're a busy man, very busy man. Look, can't wait till I see you next. We'll do a new spot for the Roku network.
Yeah, well, hey, thank you for everything you're doing, man, for giving people, like Brian and myself, this platform to come on and chat and things like that. And all your continued success and your growth, it's very well earned. You guys are just grinding, and I appreciate that hunger more than anything. And to those of you out there watching this, I'm on all social media at Dirk Manning. Look for the guy at the top end of the scarf. HeroForHope.com will take you right to the Kickstarter. You can check that out. If you're looking for something new, engaging, exciting, I encourage you to do so. But again, to all of you, I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you for this time. And I always look forward to seeing you on the road, my friend. So yeah, we'll be talking offline, and we'll talk soon.
Everything you got going on. Look, also, right before you close this, make sure you get with me so we can do some kind of a last minute, before that.
I would like that. Yeah.
Okay. So, because we like doing closeout parties and stuff, man. That's part of what we do here.
We hates it. We hates it.
Remember, empathy, not apathy.
Yeah.
Empathy, not apathy.
I actually posted something about apathy just the other day, about how it ruins everything if people don't care. As soon as they stop caring, it doesn't matter what it is, but the toilet has been flushed.
Well, once we other someone, or once we start looking at people like objects rather than people, it sounds so cliche, but it's true. Everyone's fighting a battle that most of us know nothing about.
Yeah.
Right. And don't get me wrong, it's so difficult sometimes to presume positive intent. I get it. It's so difficult not to. Sometimes it's tough to give grace. But I guess I'll close out with this. And again, this kind of like a right or wrong thing. I always share when people ask, 3 rules of how to be successful in anything you're doing, including making comics, but anything else. And each rule is only 2 words. So I always tell people, if you remember these 6 words, you will greatly increase your chance of being successful in whatever you do. Now I'm going to tell you the old words, but then after 2020, I changed them. Now the original rules, and this relates to this whole conversation, my original 3 rules were work hard, because you're not getting anything in life without working hard. Yep. Be nice, all the reasons we just talked about, and then no excuses. You got to own your success. You got to own your failure. After 2020 and everything like that, I realized I wanted to kind of tweak these a little bit and revise them. So now, instead of work hard, I tell people work smart, right? Okay. Pick your battles, use your advantages, even like you guys are doing, you're going on Roku and stuff like that, just work smart. Apply your effort in ways that are intelligent. They're going to maximize your returns. Right. You got to grind, but grind smart. We have so much technology now out there. We have so many opportunities. So now I say, work smart. And instead of saying be nice, I tell people be kind. Be kind. And the reason I specify that difference is nice people don't have boundaries. Kind people do. Right. Niceness doesn't have boundaries. Kindness has boundaries.
Yeah. There you go.
Right.
I like that.
And then the third thing is instead of no excuses, that was kind of rigid and kind of tough, kind of put yourself by your bootstraps, which again, I'm okay with that. But I realized ultimately what, to me, the third thing is give grace. Now more than ever, things are so complicated. The world is very difficult. We're all struggling. I'm sitting here rocking out this campaign with 246 backers and things like that. Now, I don't have struggles. We all have struggles. So you give grace. So I tell people now, work smart, be kind, and give grace.
That's good. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
That being said, thank you guys for having me on heroforhope.com. I do a monthly newsletter. People can sign up at dirkmanning.com. I send a newsletter first week of every month. You can check that out. I'm on all social media, Dirk Manning. But again, thank you for letting me come on and talk about Hope Volume 2. I hope those of you listening will consider checking this out. Sally Scott's doing amazing work. Dave Lentz is doing amazing work. Editor Junior Joe's doing amazing work. Source Point Press, great publisher. And I'm just really excited to bring this book to more and more people. So thank you, friends. I appreciate it. And we'll talk soon.
I'm going to finish the show with your video. Yeah, I'm going to finish the show with your video here. But Brian, go ahead and tell people what's up, where they can find you as well.
Well, you can find me on the Facebooks at Brian Christgau, and you can find me on the Twitters at Brian Christgau.
Yeah, pretty much.
And on the YouTubes, at Brian Christgau.
You can also find
good man. That's why I'm Dirk Manning everywhere. Just have the same moniker everywhere. Just go look, you'll find us.
That's why mine's different everywhere.
It's simple, stupid.
And that's why mine's different everywhere, to keep everybody guessing.
Well, that's fair. You're just an ornery old bastard. That's why.
Now, Max, tell everybody about you and where they can find your stuff, which is right there next to your name. Yeah.
Right here, atrocitypress.com. You could go there, check out. We've got all of our social media links, links to our Facebook group and our Twitter page, or our X page, whatever you want to call it this week. And our Instagram, Twix.
Yeah. You can be a left Twix or a right Twix, right?
Yep. And so then it's got all the news for Atrocity Press up a week before it hits social media. And it's got our shop on there to buy all of our books and our merch. So jump on there and check it out.
Yep. Lots of stuff to buy on Atrocity Press.
Yep. And we're having a big sale right now for the whole Black Friday weekend, into Cyber Monday. So we got a sale going, and we've only got 2 trade paperbacks left for the Not Safe for Work version of Mary Machine Gun's trade paperback.
2 left of the first printing, you guys, of the trade paperback. 2 left.
Correct.
You know what's up. This is how we do it It's Monday Madness, which we've changed the time, moved a little later in the day. I was trying to give a break to some of my other friends. We got the bargain bin that's on at 3 o'clock, and Rex does his show at 4 o'clock. And it was like, man, I'm just going to move back to my old time slot, 5 o'clock, get out of their way, let them get extra views, because it's all about eyes on people's stuff, man. It doesn't matter what channel, it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter if you're watching on Brian's channel or Doc's channel. Oh yeah. Thanks, Doc, for coming out. Appreciate you. Almost forgot Doc was here, too. A damn dirty thing. Sign up right now and fund my comic. There you go. You know who I am. I ain't got to say it. Y'all have a great day. I'm going to play this trailer for Hope Volume 2 and then a couple of ads after that, and we'll be gone, yo. Peace, everybody.
Peace and love.
Hello, friends. Dirk Manning here. You may know me as the writer and creator of graphic novel series including Nightmare World, Tales of Mystery, The Adventures of Cthulhu Jr. and Friends, Butts and Seats, the Tony Schiavone Story, Twisted Haunted Highons, and Hope. Hope is a story that has been very near and dear to my heart for a long time. It's a story about a woman who is a mother, and she moonlights as a superhero. And the story involves what happens when she is forced to reveal her secret identity when her family's in a car crash. Those of you that have read Hope Volume 1 know that the story gets very dramatic, very exciting, very passionate, very heartfelt. And again, those of you that read Volume 1 have been waiting so patiently for Volume 2. And I'm super excited to bring it to you now with artist Sally Scott.
Hi, everyone. Sally here. I am so excited for Hope Volume 2, Masks. Dirk Manning has done it again with brilliant storytelling, colorful characters, and lots of surprises. I cannot wait to see how this story progresses, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Bye now.
We have a ton of really cool opportunities lined up with this Kickstarter. You can get the Kickstarter exclusive hardcover of the book. We even have a couple of the limited edition hardcovers of Volume 1 that were Kickstarter exclusive. We found a couple. You can get those. You can get the Hope versus Everything t-shirt. You can get drawn into the book in a cameo. You can even be featured in a pro story at the back of the book. All kinds of cool stuff here. And then, of course, we have a number of stretch goals as well. After you pledge for what you want, be sure to tell your friends to come to www.aheroforhope.com. Jump in on this campaign. Whether you're a new reader and you want to catch up, you want to jump in right at Volume 2, you want everything so far, we really, really are excited and grateful to be able to offer you this opportunity to get the Kickstarter exclusive hardcover of Hope Volume 2. So, friends, thank you so much. Thank you to artist Sally Scott. Thank you to letterer Dave Lentz. Thank you to our editor, Drina Joe. Thank you to our publisher, SourcePoint Press. And again, thank you for supporting great creator-owned comics.
There is a creature in the swamps. It lives to destroy. The beast they call Hogzilla.
After his latest get-rich scheme goes sideways, Gary Duba, the quintessential Florida man, ends up with a stash of somebody's high-end memorabilia. His gal Crystal is on probation and preparing for the fight of her life, squaring off against Australia's Queen of Combat. Delilah's got her back in training, staying off rich foods and the nose candy. Meanwhile, Gary and his best friend Floyd have been hired to wrangle a massive, abnormally aggressive feral hog that's terrorizing the swamp and wrecking Gary's old neighborhood. Can they bag the elusive monster swine without destroying the Sunshine State? Reserve your copy of Florida Man vs. Hogzilla at FloridaManComics.com. We're bringing back funny books, y'all.
told that moron not to take out my Tchaikovsky tape. No matter, let's get started. Here we are, Nancy Moon. The last time we left our heroine, she had just joined my esteemed colleagues at level M. And the soldier who cannot stop talking, a magician with money issues, and a vampire with a checkered past. But there are other teammates she has yet to meet. One in particular might be a little bit shocking for her. I do hope she's not allergic. Back it today, won't you? Like right meow.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the... where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands are done.